as you can see, I've got a terrible mess of broken cabs that I bought. Yeah, when they went through customs opened them and didn't repackage them properly. So about half my stones that I had ordered came in like this, you know, broken. I mean, that, you know, that's, ugh. Like, that's so sad. Look at that. What I want to do is try to glue them, but I want to do it in such a way that maybe I can take advantage of the cracks, make them look intentional. I don't know, maybe. Like this one, it's kind of sad because, you know, I don't know if I can even hide that crack. What I did with this one here, now this one was cracked, as you can see, quite badly. This is the top piece of the crack. I'll move you in a little bit so you can see. As you can see, this is the top piece that was cracked off of the original piece. Now I buffed this one down with my Dremel, and what I'm going to do is just wrap that as one piece now with this part and just try to make it into a different type of wrap. This one here, you know, this is the piece that came off that one. So there's not a lot to save there. So what I'm probably going to do is just buff it into a pointed shape again, just so that the stone is one piece. So I think we're going to pick a stone here. We're going to pick a couple of stones because this one here, with this stone, I'm going to do a little gold fill in there because there's quite a bit of cracking here. There's not much I'm going to be able to do with this stone to hide like where it's damaged there. This one, I am going to try to actually just glue it because as you can see, the crack is actually fairly hidden really well. It broke pretty much, you know, the same on both sides. So I might be able to fix that one just with the my glue. Let's get started with this video. The glue I'm going to be using today is the jewelry and bead glue. This is the E6000. I have a stick here that I have from my nail collection, like doing my nails, my own nails. I have this little stick here that is used for pushing cuticles, and I thought this would work really good to mix the glue like I plan to actually mix it. I also have little tinfoil bowls. I got these from the dollar store. I mean, they don't cost they don't cost much at all. I don't know how much I paid for those, but I know they're not very much. So I'm going to use this to actually mix my glue into. Now I did buy luster dust. This is supposed to be luster dust, but this is actually edible luster dust. The other stuff didn't actually come in yet, so I think I'm going to do this video in two parts. So I'm going to try one of these though. I think I'm going to try the gold one with the pink stone because I think that would look much prettier. I'm sure it'll work just the same because it's going to be mixed in with the glue, so it's not going to be edible after that. But I think I'm going to do it with the pink because this pink, if you notice, this stone has a little bit of a gold section here in this stone, so I think it'll look really nice. I'm going to put a little bit of this glue, and I love this glue. I actually put, I actually made a ring, and I couldn't quite wrap it. Like I couldn't get the stone to stay where I wanted it. So I actually used some of this to put the stone on the shank and then wrapped it. And that ring is 8 years old. It never came apart. It was wonderful. Okay, so we're going to do this one here first. We're going to hopefully it works. I would really like to refurbish these stones and be able to use them. Unfortunately, when I do wrap them and put them up for sale on my site, I'm not going to be able to sell them for as much as I originally wanted. I don't think it's fair to sell, you know, a product like this that is refurbished or, you know, I guess refurbished is the only way I can really explain that. So anyway, I would like to at least, you know, be able to get it into a really beautiful wire setting. And I don't want to do it like that. I thought about doing 2 wire settings and putting it together and kind of taking advantage of the crack, but I might still do that with another piece. This is not the piece I wanted to though. So I'm going to take a little bit of this E6000 and I am going to put it on my cab right where it's broken. And these little wooden sticks really work well for this type of thing. I don't want to get too much of this on me. I don't like the smell of this stuff either. It stinks. Put a little more on there. You don't want to put too much on because it is going to spill over, you know, and then that's when the crack is going to be, you're going to be able to see that more. Okay, now I'm going to put this together. Just move that out of the way. Just trying to fit it so that, there we go. It fits into itself as, you know, as close as possible. I'm just going to hold it for a few minutes. It says allow 24 hours for curing, depending on materials and temperature, maybe up to 48 to 72 hours. But I just want to get it to where it's actually holding, you know, holding the 2 pieces together so I can actually get rid of what's spilling onto the cab, like out of the crack. And what I'll probably do is once it adheres to itself, then I'm going to wrap this in such a way that I should be able to kind of hide that crack a little bit, hoping that it doesn't really show through too much. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do, I hope this works. I have some of these. I bought these at the hardware store. I believe they almost remind me of jumper cable ends. That's the only way I can describe these. But I did get them at the hardware store. They're little tiny things, and I love using these for my, like when I'm weaving and I need to hold wires in place. These are absolutely priceless. Okay, so now I can leave that to cure. I'm going to cure it for a couple of hours before I try to take the excess glue off of there. And what I've done here is I've removed my, because I have a beading mat that I love to work on, but I removed it, and this is just a placemat so that if I do get some glue on it, which is possible, you know, I'm not going to wreck anything, and my desk as well. So I'm going to put a little more of the E6000 into my bowl here because I'm going to try to do the gold luster dust with this glue. And that should be plenty. So I'm just hoping that it adheres properly with this gold stuff in it, like cross fingers. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of this. And like I said before, this is the edible stuff, so I don't even know if it's going to work. But one gentleman on YouTube, and I'll try to find that YouTube video for you, he did a bowl with edible glue and this stuff here, and I'm thinking, well, why wouldn't it work the same, right? Okay, I have a little plastic spoon I'm just going to use. I'm not going to take too much right now. I just want to see how it's going to mix. So as you can see, actually, it looks really beautiful. Look at how nice that is. Oh man, that is pretty. Look at that. Can you see that? Oh, that looks really nice. The silver one will look beautiful too, but I'm a silver person. I love silver. We're gonna try this one first. All right, let's see. I'm gonna mix this just a little bit more. And you know, when I saw that gentleman do his edible dish, I thought, why not? Why couldn't I do that with, you know, the same type of thing, except use my E6000. So I'm just going to get it to I really hope this works out because my wasn't in the way there. All right, so I'm just placing the glue just right where the crack is. This stuff does not smell the greatest, so it might be a really good idea to wear like a mask if you need to. I mean, honestly, we are all pretty much getting very experienced with the mask thing. Okay, now I'm going to press those two together. I didn't put it really thick. It's thick, but it's not like really super thick. I just want to see if it's going to work at all. I hope it does. So I'm just going to try to get it sitting where it should be. And yeah, I need to go thicker on this side, so I'm going to pull this apart. And I'm just going to get it a little bit more, a little bit thicker on that one side, like here. I guess it needs to be a lot thicker maybe. This is all really trial and error for me. And I mean, if it doesn't work out, that's going to be sad. But if it does, then at least I've, you know, tried to cover a little bit of the cost of buying these stones and getting them sent here. I mean, what else are you going to do? You got to try a little bit. Okay, put those two together again. All right, there. Try to get the stone in place. Okay, so you can see them, you can see the glue is, I got something on my finger here. You can see the glue is actually spewing out, which is fine. There. So you can see that. And I think this gold in here is going to really bring out the best of the stone because, like I said, it has a little, it almost looks like a little bit of a rusty color right there on the stone. Actually, it has it quite a bit in here. If you can, I don't know if you can see that. The lights that I have to use to film aren't the greatest, so, but there is like a little gold tint here and there throughout the stone, especially here. So I guess, you know, it should work. So I'm hoping it works anyway. Okay, so this one is pretty much sitting in place now where I want it. As good as I'm going to get it, and of course I'm checking every angle of the stone. I forgot to tell you, that's what I did with the other one too, but just look the stone over, make sure that it's sitting where you want it, because if it's crooked or out of place even just a little bit, it's going to show. So this one looks pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to set this one with my clamps, with my clamp on it, just so it can set. So we're going to set that one over there. Okay, I have these type of clamps. Let's try this one. We've got a lot of glue left here. Like, that's a lot yet. So I want to get this on here before this glue starts to get hard to work with. There we go with the last little bit of glue, and it is starting to get chunky, so I'm glad we're using it as fast as we can. Hopefully it doesn't fly out of here. So I'm going to put a little more thickness on this one here. So now we'll try to remember that this is the one that I did not press too hard. I'm just going to see and make sure it sits. I'm going to sit here for a few minutes and just make sure that it sits perfectly. So it isn't quite sitting perfectly still yet. The stone still wants to move a little bit, which is fine. So I'm going to leave it to cure for the 24 hours. Before I mess with it anymore. I don't want it to move it out of place. So I'm going to leave it in the little clamp. All right, and we will be back in 24 hours to see how this worked out. Okay, so my cabs have been sitting, waiting for me to come back to them. This has been 3 days. They've been glued. And I've had some interesting results. So this one here, I just used the E6000. I didn't use any coloring. And as you can see, it actually looks pretty good. I am actually going to put a wire weave around this today. But unfortunately, I still feel like even after it's weaved, I am going to have to bring down the price a little bit because of this. Even though it's hidden, I just feel, you know, that I can't sell it for the price that I wanted to sell it for because now it's been repurposed. But with the weaving that I'm planning to do, I should be able to hide that fairly good. And honestly, like, it is solid. It is solid. This shouldn't break. The E6000 is actually really good. Almost too good, because my next piece, this one here, I did with the gold, as you can remember. When I was, you know, cleaning it all up, some of the gold actually came out of the cracks. So it doesn't look as good as I was hoping it was going to look. Unfortunately, I can't get it to break now. So I can't even fix that situation, which is really sad because this is such a pretty stone. But I might be able to do some kind of a wire weave on it to hide that a little bit. But unfortunately, I think I kind of wrecked the stone by trying to do the gold in between there. It just didn't work with this one, so it's sad. This is really pretty. My pink half moon actually turned out interesting. As you can see in here, this is the gold filled, like the gold glue. I mixed the gold in with the glue. And it actually turned out kind of interesting. Like you can see it in there, almost looks like part of the rock. So this one actually didn't turn out too bad. But I think the reason this one turned out better is because there's lots of holes in the crack. Like there's lots of empty space in between here. So the gold was able to fill that up, as you can see. But again, unfortunately, you know, I still can't justify selling these for the prices I was going to sell them for. I am going to wire weave this one as well today. Even if I don't sell them, you know, if somebody doesn't want a repurposed stone, like I don't mind keeping that for myself and wearing it. I think it's really pretty. This one turned out interesting. I like it. This was the one that I put a lot of gold. You know, I left quite a bit of space for the gold to sit and it didn't work. I may have, unfortunately, maybe tried to clean it up too soon. I don't know. But I think keeping it too far away from the other piece of stone just did not help it at all. And it popped apart. So I'm going to try again, but I'm going to use the gold again, but I will press it into itself a lot harder. And honestly, like this crack is very apparent, so I really have to use either a silver or a gold in there. I just have to. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to do anything. The other thing I thought about doing though was actually wire wrapping the two pieces separate like that, like, you know, separated. I might try that too. And if I do, I'll give you an update video on that. But I might actually just try to wrap this to take advantage of this crack to make it one piece, but that the piece is not together. I'll see what I can do, because honestly, like with this type of stone being almost clear like that, you know, it's almost impossible to glue it together and then have it look nice. But as far as I'm concerned anyway, I don't think it's going to look good that way. So, and the one thing I found when I do glue them is like I use these, my little wire cutters, and the glue is not going to hurt these, honestly, because it bubbles out. So I just kind of went along it like this and just cut that glue out. Just so, because I find when you pull on the pieces that are spewing out there, it will actually pull the glue right out of the crack. So that doesn't work if you do that. It doesn't look nice. Even if it glues, if it's missing in some spots, that doesn't look good. So, yeah. Okay, so I am going to just move these out of the way. I'm going to wire wrap those and try to hide that a little bit. And yeah, at least I didn't have to throw them out.